Jeez, you guys are quick.
Smart fighter quits while he's ahead.
Okay. Not liking the high resolution on... Oh god, that looks awful. Okay, let's edit some settings. That's fine. Okay, that's a little better. My computer can normally handle these things, but unfortunately when it comes to streaming with XSplit, it does not often like a lot of the other things that are going on. I actually might have to turn this down even lower, as much as I don't want to. So, some of you may not know this, but I've been playing Neverwinter since closed beta. It has been a very, very long time since it started. Probably about a year and a half. I don't know. But I had... This one will be my third max level character in the game. The only MMO which I've actually successfully achieved that in. Which says something about the game itself, too. It's very easy to get into and play, and to stick with for a long period of time, even if you are not very good at MMOs. I normally get bored of them after, a couple months. So I never get to that high tier gameplay that a lot of people do. But with Neverwinter I did. So I actually got a request yesterday to stream Neverwinter, and hopefully this will appease you. If you have any questions, feel free to post them.
What can I help you with? Sergeant
and I'll answer when I can.
When last I saw him, Tour Guide Solhalf asked me about a ritual to summon the ghost of Grimhollow's last man, Galwin Grist. If you were to summon the ghost, he may be able to tell you where the Doom Guide went. The ritual is quite simple. All you need do is gather one of the flowers known as Saloon's Tears and burn it in the brazier found amid the ruins of Grist's old home.
Okay, that was weird. Yeah, the graphical glitch showed up on yours too. That was strange.
What brings you to the... You seek to... The ghost of Grimhollow no longer recognize this cold and desolate place.
Yes,
Without a
yes, my
connection
name is
to
a
their
joke on
past
Priest
lives,
Touching Boys.
They are confused
Don't tell anyone.
and vulnerable. This makes them easy prey for interest
Oh my god,
and her
it is so
minions.
laggy.
Enter the abandoned homes of Grim Hollow and relight the cold
holy
hearts
shit.
found there. Once the home fires are burning, the ghosts will remember and be drawn to safety.
I have to wonder if I can't... I think once again it's not optimizing the cores in my computer properly. Unfortunately, 8-core processors are fairly new to the market, and a lot of games don't support them. So most likely what's happening is that between XSplit and this, it's sharing 4 of my cores, and that is...
I'm an honest fighter.
Smart fighter quits while he's ahead.
Unfortunately, being a cleric, I'm building a full heal cleric, not a DPS cleric, meaning I take, or can take, because of my healing capabilities, a lot of damage, but I don't dish it out at all, which makes soloing rather difficult.
I'm an honest fighter.
Is that any better?
I am here in your time of need.
Smart fighter quits while he's ahead.
I'm an honest fighter.
Ooh, another graphical glitch. That was not good. I have to wonder why that's happening. Slag is getting killed. I'm not the type of person to die. Gonna check really quick my... Yeah, because I haven't hit over 50% on my cores on my CPU at all. So it's probably running everything as 4 cores, which is not right. I'm glad the game looks good on the stream, but... And I guess it's okay for me too, but I'm used to being able to run everything at the highest possible settings for everything. I mean, I can even run Crysis 2 at the highest settings. But the cores aren't being utilized properly. No, no, no. I didn't think you were being offensive. I'm sorry if it came across that way. I'm just, like I said, I'm really used to my computer performing well, so when it doesn't, I notice it considerably. I'm glad it looks good for you guys, though. Max level in Neverwinter is 60, so I'm a little over halfway there with this character. After you hit level 60, the endgame content's kind of meh. Really what you need to do is you need to join a guild, and then you'll be doing things like campaigns and dungeon delves to get your tiered armor. And after that, you can either just help your own guildmates do PvP, etc. They release every couple months a new campaign for you to do, which consists of a lot of activities that can keep you occupied and get you new, better armor for quite some time. Or if you have the money, because this is a free-to-play game, you can buy some character slots to start a new character. For the most part, though, clerics are very rare because most people prefer to play DPS classes, if only because they're easier to solo. So I made this cleric for my guild so that I can help them out at the max levels in dungeon builds and in groups, because everyone needs cleric. You always need cleric. Okay, maybe not always, but you usually need cleric. Gosh. Any free-to-play MMO for the most part that you've heard of, especially the popular ones, I've played. I played Perfect World before this, which was actually the company that took over Cryptic to help make this game. I didn't get very far in that. I got to about level 30, which for Perfect World is only, oh god, I don't know, very, very low level. Levels in Perfect World go into the hundreds. And there's a lot of, like, Ascension crap that they do. It's a Korean game. I was a beta tester for DCUO back when that was released. Early beta. Didn't like it all that much, but a lot of people did, so it's still going on, kind of. I played Champions Online for a very long time. I was also beta tester for that. Lord of the Rings Online. I didn't play Rift. I don't know. That's a very hard question because there's so many. No, I didn't play Guild Wars 2, although I wanted to. I've seen it, and it seems very fun. And I don't even know what Wild Stars is. I've never heard of that. I did, however, play Guild Wars 1. That's interesting. I'll have to look into that. I prefer dungeons to PvP in most games. I do PvP here only to get some of the armors and items that I need, but because my Cleric is a full hero Cleric, he performs best in dungeons and not in a PvP style environment where I'm not dealing any kind of damage whatsoever. I don't deal damage. This is one of my least favorite quests in the game. Finding these bone piles is obnoxious. Occasionally you actually have to switch instances to get them all. Ooh, some magic mushrooms. Is that what it said? Did it say magic mushroom? It definitely says magic mushroom. Yeah, I want those. I don't even know what they're for. I only need one more damn bone pile. This game needs to give it to me. Just give me the bone pile so I can finish my quest, please. I just want a bone pile. Oh goody, another magic mushroom. I bet something good will happen if I collect them. And by good I mean I hope my character gets high on drugs. Bones! Get out of my way! Shoot! Get out of my way! Also, I'd like to put a shout out to whoever thought it was a good idea in this game to give clerics the ability to shoot lasers.
Without her, the ghost. You have done much for
Okay,
us
so
here.
while I'm somewhere
At the
safe, I wanted to
stop
go over
of
this really quick.
You will need to join
Neverwinter is
forces
very
with
interesting in the
Brunei
respect that
Vesper Soul Heart.
there is no
You will
mana
find
for any
him in
characters,
your own temple of
and you
Cannonball.
can only have
Tell him what you have done for us.
7
I am
abilities at any
certain he
given
will
time.
trust you as I do.
Meaning I have a lot more abilities in my character's repertoire than can be used in battle at one time. So you have your 3, what are called encounter powers. Those are the lowest cooldown powers, or second lowest, I'm wrong. Mine are Sunburst, Healing Word, and Exhaustion. You have your dailies, which you can only be used after filling up this bar here in the middle to a certain point. It says here that a devoted cleric gains action points by healing or dealing damage. I have Hallowed Ground and Flame Strike. And then you have your at-will powers, which you can use at will. I have Sacred Flame and Astral Seal. Every character at level 10, or maybe 11, gains a tab ability, which is unique to the class. So, for example, for the cleric, it's called Divinity, and that's what happens when I press tab. These bars here on the side are filled up by using healing abilities or damaging enemies. Each cross counts as a bar. I have the ability to activate Divinity, either shoot a healing beam, which I can't use right now, or a damaging beam, which I also can't use right now, to slowly drain the bar, or I can use a skill when Divinity's on to kind of upgrade it. So that would give me knockback instead of just the regular damage on my Sunburst. The shift key is always a dodge. For the cleric, it's a slide. That is determined by this green bar here, and you kind of just have to figure out where that lies on how many more times you can slide. You'll see that I can't do it because there's no stamina. It's very interesting because you have to think long and hard about what abilities you're going to bring with you into your dungeons and how you're going to build your character, because it's not like a lot of MMOs where you can have 6, 8, 10 taskbars full of skills and just kind of pop them all at once, like things are normally done, and that can make things difficult for people that are used to that style of play. The reason for this is that they really wanted the game to be focused on the character building and easy for everyone to get into. So having 3 main abilities, 2 at-wills, and 2 dailies was a pretty good combination to get new people that aren't into MMOs to start playing them, and make it easier for them to kind of understand than throwing at them 16 skills that you have to memorize and you have to use them in this order to deal any amount of damage or whatever. Instead, you can kind of figure out what you want to do with your own character, build it the way you want. You can tell there's a lot of options where you can spend your points, and that makes things a lot easier for everyone. It also gives you a lot of creative freedom.
There is much to be done. I owe you. This temple of Kellerthor provides us with a haven against Idris's army.
We can use more strong. You know, once you get used to the undead and their smell, they're an easy enough target. Now spiders, they give me the chills. If you could take out some spiders, I'd be able to do my job. Oh, let's keep this between us, if you don't mind.
Dungeons require usually a different setup depending on your character. So, for example, if I was playing a DPS character and I really want to deal a lot of damage, you can choose how you want to play. That's totally up to you. But you might find it easier to progress in dungeons as a group if you follow certain things. For example, my DPS ranger has a lot of area effect spells, so I can deal lower amounts of damage to a wider range of targets to make it easier for everyone else to take out. For my cleric, I would usually put in less one target heals and do things like Sunburst, which deal damage to a group of targets and heal everyone else within its range. It also depends on how your teammates are playing. So, you know, you could ask someone who has played the game before, do you want me to run Sunburst on this dungeon? I know that it has edges for me to bounce enemies off of, and you can use your divinity to do that. And that kind of thing. Certain dungeons require a certain different team composition. So, for example, some dungeons can't be run without a cleric. Others, you absolutely have to have one, sometimes 2, to get by, just due to the high amount of damage. So that's something that the veteran players, of which there will probably be at least one, can take into account when they're making the team. I just want to kill one more spider. Believe it or not, this game isn't really buy to win. I know that's a common misconception, but if you look here, and I will take the time, even though I'm in a lair full of spiders, I'll open up the Zen shop, and we'll take a look at some of the paid items that you can get. starting with the on sale ones. So these are professions packs for crafters. A sprite companion, which companions do very little. My companion's default one right now. Some bags, keys to open enchanted chests, but for the most part, a lot of things that you get from chests and stuff aren't especially useful. You have companions which can make a difference later on, especially if you get a really nice, like a purple one that deal more damage than the rest, or a mount that's faster. But mounts aren't really needed. I mean, they don't really make much of a difference, especially in solo gameplay, because give me a second. Unless you're doing PvP, and only then, the distance between the areas you need to get to is usually very small anyways, and even with the default mount, you can do whatever you want. More crafting stuff, and some services such as companion idol slots, character slots, change appearance tokens. But all of the armor and things that you have to get by playing the game. You can't get them by paying for them. Your endgame armors have to be done manually. Like, if I could spend $20 and get epic armor, trust me, I would. But you can't. So, I don't know that people have said that. I don't really talk to read forums about it or read reviews, because, I mean, I played it. I've experienced it since day one. And, yeah, the game is very nice. The graphics are very pretty, especially on high settings, but the gameplay itself is very smooth. And I don't know that it had any bad rep, but I suppose I'm a little biased. And like I said, I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. More magic mushrooms for my character. He does like himself some magic mushrooms as well as touching little boys. I apologize if that offends anyone. But it's my character. I can make him do what I want.
Now there's an adventurer that shows no fear. Thanks again for clearing out those spiders. And remember, let's just keep this between us, if you please.
So this is actually what dungeons are going to be like. This is a solo dungeon, of course, so this is for a quest. I'll probably do a major dungeon later on. They're pretty cool though, and they're my favorite part of the game, because I always like D&D, and I like playing D&D, and I like the idea of dungeons. So you have things like, you can obviously see it, but secret passages and that kind of stuff that you expect from a D&D game, and understanding that this is based off of D&D, especially the Neverwinter campaigns. No, I don't know of any way that you can buy the first tier rating gear. I don't, because I showed you, like, we went through the Zen shop together, and you can't just buy that. Although there is a couple starter packs that you can buy. Here, we're not busy. Adventurer's Helper Pack, which contains... Actually, you know what? We're gonna look in Steam really quick for that, because I am kind of curious as to what that's being said. The Guardian Neverwinter Pack, which is $60, it says contains here a medium horse, a companion, a dire wolf, a regalia mask, which is a fashion mask. It's not even like stats or anything. It just goes in the fashion slots. Mastercrafted weapon comes with an enchantment that can be unslotted. I can see how that would be a bit of a advantage, but even then, the game is very skill based, so you know, even having all these equipment doesn't give you that great an advantage, I don't think. Helper pack skills, XP boost, which, I mean, that could be considered unfair, but whatever. Astral Diamonds, which are in-game currency, only for the auction house, and some other stuff. Respect tokens. That's the only one there. Let's see, Knight of the Feywild pack has a new race, offensive companion, Moonsilver Regalia, which I can tell you is a fashion item. A special enchantment, which is whatever. If you put that on a low tier weapon, it's not going to help you. The Hero of the North pack, which is $200, which gives you access to a unique unplayable race, the Drow, which I think I have anyways. A better mount, a companion, fashion items, pretty much all of the stuff contained in the other stuff. But Steam starter kit, $20. Does this give you tier 1 gear? No. So, like I said, I haven't experienced that myself where you can just buy tier 1 items except for that one example of the weapon. But like something that is not just you can't say unfair, but that you'll see is my character has, even at level 35, a lot of purple gear, and some of these gears, like my icon and my symbol, level with me, and those were donated to me by my guild, actually, so that I could, be effective late game. And those are some powerful items. That gives me a bit of an advantage over someone else, but it's not something that I paid for, it's something that we earned and that someone donated to me. Also, I'm sure you and Toucher would get along just fine. He's a cleric, he loves everyone. It could be that I'm not as well informed as I think, but I haven't experienced a lot of buy to win. I've experienced a lot of time to win. People that spend ungodly hours in this game to play and get all the stuff that they need. And then on their high level characters, like, mail stuff to their lower level characters so that they have that as an unfair advantage. But other than that, I really don't think it's buy to win. Unless you think, looking pretty is winning, in which case this scarf is awesome, because that's not what the cloak is supposed to look like. That's a legendary item that I got for the winter event. Another thing that's interesting about the game is there are little bits of lore that you can find everywhere, and if you find one, you can read all the lore, lots of different lore, on the bits you found for each zone in the game. I'm not a very lore-friendly person. I like hearing about it, but I prefer to hear about it from, say, a person than from having to read books in game. I'd much rather get my quests and get my levels done. But if you are into that, there's a boatload of lore from the Neverwinter series. You'd be jealous of me. I have 5 scarves in real life. More secret doors. Oop, there was people behind that one. Oh, phase spiders, my least favorite thing in the world. As if spiders aren't bad enough, you give spiders the ability to teleport. I'm not about that. If spiders could teleport for real, I would probably cry. There is a breed of flying spider. You should look that up. And remember that there can be one under your pillow. Or in your shoe. Flying spider? No, it flies. I don't know what that question is in reference to. Also, if we're still talking about creepy crawlies, scorpions are also pretty freaky. They drop out of trees. Thank God that's not an issue where I am. No, I'm okay with freezing temperatures too. I live in Connecticut, so... Winter's actually my favorite season. Oh, he's dying. I should probably not let him die. Stop dying. Very good. Oh god, you live in Rhode Island? That's frightening. I'm at college right now, but at home I live about 5 minutes from the Rhode Island border. Also, this just in, Clerics can fly. Not sure if you saw that. Ow, that hurt. Oh, fuck. Mimics, one of my favorite video game monsters, but also one of the most difficult to kill. As you can see, this thing's kind of kicking my ass. Yeah, grave robbers. Occasionally in the game you experience there's a rival adventuring party that I'm very dead. That's unfortunate. A rival adventuring party that shows up in a lot of dungeons, solo ones, epic ones, and you get to fight the rival adventuring party with your adventuring party. And that's fun. They're not real players, unfortunately, but not falling in that again. So let's kill an adventuring party. Oh, ow, Gromlin, that was painful. Let's not do that. Not about that. I bet you, if I can lure them. I mentioned the fact that in some dungeons, Divinity gives clerics the ability to push mobs off edges, kind of like this. Boop, right in the pit. You're dead. I win. Hollowed ground. What that does is it sanctifies the ground around me and gives a boost to attack, defense, the whole shebang, everything, really. Bam. Remember, kids, this is why you don't try and kill your cleric when you're in the party. I actually, after this, I think I'm gonna do a player build dungeon, because I want to show you my favorite one, which is really, really interesting, and it's gonna give you guys the options to make a few choices. So, seeing as you're the only one that's actively answering, that's fine, though. That's fine. Because I need to do my dailies anyways. My daily, found requests. Yay, a helmet, except my stuff is probably a whole lot better. Oh, I need to sell. Yeah, and fall damage, also counts to damage calculations in games. So in a dungeon where
much to be done.
There's a lot of opportunities
in order to combat our foes,
for clerics or control wizards to push mobs off of places. It does count towards your damage calculations at the end of the dungeon. So oftentimes the cleric can out DPS the DPS by the sole mechanic that I threw people off edges. Like, lots of people. Sometimes like 20 mobs at once. Another thing that you get that's a new mechanic, so if I was in a dungeon and I need to activate the shop, you can see down here I have this Aurora's Whole Realms catalog, and I press 3 and it brings up a little shopkeeper that I can use. He also, I could use him in combat. He throws some coins and does a little bit of damage. No add-ons that I know of. A lot of stuff you can just see in game. Like there'll be a running log in the dungeon right here that you can press X and bring it down to show you who's dealt the most damage, and it'll show you the damage total, who's taken the most damage, who's died the most, all that kinds of stuff, all the statistics that you'd want to know.
We need help to defend this temple.
We must lay the dead to rest.
Okay, so I said I wanted to do a foundry quest with you guys. And let me see, there should be a way to bring up the homepage. And I want to find... here it is. My favorite quest of all time is called Tired of Being the Hero. So, it says, have you ever wondered what it would like to play the bad guy? Have you ever wanted to cause the destruction and command an army of loyal servants? In this quest, you're the final boss. Betray your allies and make an evil pact with a mysterious stranger. Command your own legions of minions as you fight for your way through the volcanic dungeons, slaying any heroes who dare stand in your path of destruction. So it's meant for solo and it's meant to be played as a daily quest, so we're going to accept that. And I'm going to set that as my current quest path. So all Foundry quests are player created, which is another awesome aspect that I talked about yesterday that I wish that games like Skyrim would do, which make it very, very easy. The Foundry editor comes built into the game. It's fairly easy to use. I haven't really played with it myself. I like playing other people's creations more so than making my own. But you could play player dungeons all day. They drop loot, they give experience, they do everything a normal dungeon would do. You just don't complete the main quest line with them, which is obvious. I mean, it's not the main quest line. But this is my favorite dungeon of all time, and probably one of the more well-known ones. Like I said, I'm gonna give you guys a couple options to make during the dungeon. So there are some dialogue options that change the outcomes at the end, and I've already done all of them, so I'm going to let you guys do it. And if all of you actually want to vote on that, I'll wait a couple seconds for that to happen, even though I think you are probably the only one that is going to answer. But, you know, I've got viewers. Might as well try and engage them. So,
I'm an honest fighter.
You spawn in, enter in here, and you can see all of your party members. You have Frank the Tank, Eric the Cleric, your Conscience, which you'll see in a minute, Vogue the Rogue, and Sage the Mage. So, let's talk to Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank says, "Great job, we couldn't have done it without you." And I said, "Yeah, you neither, although we did have a Cleric, so you weren't really a tank." See, the thing is, in all these dungeons, the party members didn't do what they were supposed to. So, he said, "Well done. It wasn't an easy task getting to this point, but we succeeded. Thanks to me, of course." And he says he did all the work. And he disconnected. We'll do that again. You can see his dialogue cut off there for a minute. Guess his internet connection must be bad. So, We can't talk to Sage the Mage right now. Let's talk to our conscience and see what our conscience has to say. He says, "This is it. This is the perfect moment to put our plan into motion. Pick your options, one or two." We don't care about these people. Frank doesn't hold aggro, the rogue has connection issues, the cleric is an elitist jerk, and the mage needs on every piece of loot that drops. Unfortunately, the delay makes this very unfortunate. I blame Twitch. He says, I said, "These are all very valid reasons to be upset with my current group members. So let's do it." Do what? You can't see it, but I'm facepalming right now. Look, it's not that complicated. We go up there and pretend to celebrate with the dumb mage. We ask her the honors of throwing the artifact into the volcano. Lord of the Rings. She will stupidly agree. Then, while everyone admires her heroic bravery, we will deliver some cheesy one-liner, and then boom, we push her over the edge. The tank will sit in all of your red circles because he doesn't know how to move out of the way or block. The cleric will be shouting at everyone to get them to do as he says, whilst also preaching about his epic gear score and MMO experience. Kinda like me. And the rogue will most likely disconnect. And if he doesn't, then he'll probably lag into the lava and kill himself. Sounds awesome, let's do it. She says, "I don't know what to say, it's finally over. We've been through a lot, haven't we? All the barbs across the server will zone and chat about our exploits. We discovered the ancient Falden ruins, fought hordes of undead, demons, drow, and other various creatures. In the end, it all came down to Vogue, who magically sealed our final enemy into a nearby wall, hindering him completely and allowing us to finish him off with barely a scratch. A tale for the ages. And all that's left now is to toss this ring into the volcano, forever destroying the power and the evil it possesses." I'm gonna be honest with her. I'm tired of being the hero. And then I'm gonna roundhouse kick Sage in the face. Bye, Sage. At this point, the party members attack you. And you get to see exactly how useful they are. So I'm not sure if you caught it, but she said that Vogue, the disconnecting rogue, magically sealed their final boss into a wall. Something that rogues aren't capable of. And we'll see that in a minute. Frank the tank, not tanking. This entire dungeon is excellent. It's so well designed, and it's very humorous too. It's not serious. Oh. Let's talk to the mysterious stranger. He says, well done, well done. I knew it was only a matter of time before you snapped." He's been following... well, I've been following you for quite some time, waiting for the opportunity to recruit you into the dark folds of shadow. It would seem that time is upon us. The betrayal of your former companions was all the reassurance that I needed. As for my name, that is unimportant. You're tired of being the hero, correct? All your life you have fought for the goodly people of this realm. You have acquired title after title, glory after glory, but it isn't enough, is it? At the end of the day, it's just another shiny title, another fleeting moment of glory, and then you finally realize that there will be more, a lot more. Suddenly, the benefits don't seem so rewarding. Being the hero has become boring, wouldn't you say? I know you, I know your soul, and it tells me that you want to take a new path, the evil path. You have proved that much today. I will set you on your way to infamy, but first, you have to do something for me. You must give me back the ring that you stole. It belongs to me, and I will have it back. In return, I will give you your choice of 5 powerful artifacts. I don't think so. If this ring's that powerful, I'm gonna keep it. He says, me versus him. So I'll take the trade. You don't have any other dialogue options, unfortunately. So I have the option to take an artifact. And I'm going to choose... Let's see. I will choose the orb. Each one of these changes the way the dungeon progresses later on, but I'm going to take the orb. So I said, yes, I will take the orb. And he says to take the token of darkness, so that he knows for a fact that I didn't steal from him. So I have to take the token first. I assume that this is a dungeon mechanic that they couldn't avoid. Okay. And then we'll progress back whence we came. After giving, you know, the all-powerful ring to a man of pure evil.
Smart fighter quits while he's
So
ahead.
first of all, I just want to take a look over here and show you the final boss that Vogue magically sealed in the wall with his lag, most likely. Magically in quotes. Oh, what a silly, silly guard captain. I killed them. So I used the orb to summon my own host of anti-heroes. And now I'm fighting the commander of the Neverwinter Guard. See the shades there. I actually don't think I've chosen the orb before, so this should be interesting. I said I chose all of them, but I think this was the one I did not. See, if I had the ring, I could use it to get past this pass, but I don't. Alright, so because I have the orb, I have the unique option to command the orb to move the shard disc in this ruin. You can't do this if you have any other item. And I move the disc. It's very dark in here. And I interact with another Netherese orb. And it summons some wizards for me, which is awesome. I do like myself some shades. And what's an evil mastermind without minions, of course? Alright, more guards. Let's kill them. Who needs Neverwinter guards? We're evil. I don't need them. I don't want it. Ow! So again, if you had the ring here, you could command the elements, which would bring up some stone elementals to help you out, as these fights can be very difficult without help. And of course, if you decide not to use the power of the items, you don't have to. I didn't have to do that, I just did, because I'm evil and don't care that I'm slaughtering hundreds of Neverwinter guards. Bookshelf, that's an illusion. If you had the sword, you could get past this area, but you don't. I don't. We have the orb. The hero twins. I feel like Voldemort killing Fred and George Weasley. Although he didn't actually kill them and only one of them died. But the essence is there. Alright. So let's nuke this guy. I don't want to deal with him. There we go. I think that's the very definition of nuked. So I'm just going to point out, because I didn't examine the boxes back there, but all of these barrels are filled with ale, which means they sent in a search party full of drunks. It says, you're really happy you're evil now. So it doesn't let you go past without using the artifact. So we gaze into the Netherese orb. I'll let you read this dialogue really quick. And it put me into... We are in the Nether Realm right now. I assume that makes me more powerful than usual. We also have some friends to help us that we pulled from the other side. More guards who don't need families. Because when I'm done, I'm gonna kill their families too. So General Hat-Nth. Anyways, he's bowing to you because you're the master of the orb. Told him we have another battle, so he needs to chill the fuck out.
I'm an honest fighter.
No help right off the bat when you rezone. I suppose it's an issue of not knowing where to click. I've never gotten to this part and had people with me. Maybe I just don't know where to look. But that's fine. We'll get more followers later on. Come at me, bro. If I had divinity, I would just... Okay, let's... Whoop. Goodbye. There's actually stairs because it's a spiral staircase, so we didn't fall off and die like I wanted them to. But I'm still alive, and that's all that matters. Pray to my deity. Hero Druid. Some very powerful magic. But mine's more powerful. And this is not. Now, if you're really interested, you can pause the stream later and read this, but there's a book here that talks about how basically the loading screen drives him insane. It's a very interesting little article there, but it just shows the writer's creativity. And also, you know, breaking the fourth wall and all that. Captain Cormac, who you actually meet in some of the main quests. Because I most certainly want to hurt you. Summon my dark allies, who proceed to slaughter the guards for me. Will help finish them off. To be honest, I probably could have killed all those guards simultaneously anyways, but you know, if you've got help, use it. I do miss when we had like 10 viewers last night and all of you were talking. That was awesome. So this is something, and if you can get this before I tell you, but we have Billy, Trini, Jason, Kimberly, and Zach. And I forgot to point it out, but the quest log before this, right before, after we kill the guards and before we leave that zone, it says, prepare yourself, you're the final boss of this dungeon, which the first time I read it was really awesome. It's a very powerful message. It gave me goosebumps. Like, I'm the boss. That's fucking awesome. I'm the boss. You cannot stop me in my newfound power. So we'll call some dark minions. Off Billy there. Ooh, no, sorry, Kimberly. You're next. Never liked the color pink. Kill Zach. And finish off Jason last. Yes, good, Power Rangers. I'm glad you got that, which will make this next part a lot more interesting. So you beat them up, and they all come back in various forms of duress. You talk to Jason, and this isn't even their final form, bro. We haven't seen their combined power, so as you've probably already guessed, they assemble and turn into Mega Hero, aka a fucking Megazord, which is my final boss in this dungeon. If only I could do this in dungeons. I wish. That would be awesome. I'm part of the Megazord. I want to be the Green Ranger. He was my favorite. Yeah! Okay. So we kill the Megazord. And our mysterious stranger is back at the end of the dungeon to offer us a reward for our evil deeds, which unfortunately is not decided by the maker of the dungeon. He can't decide on the loot. The loot's random, which is unfortunate since it'll never be better than anything I have. Well identified because it is Cleric robes. But yeah, you can even see with the recommended there. They're not better than what I have. Something I didn't talk about before. With most MMOs, loot comes in a few tiers. So white loot, which I don't have any of, I don't try to keep it on me, is the lowest level loot. It's okay in rating. It's not that great. Green loot is considered rare. Or common. Uncommon. It's considered uncommon. I'm wrong. Again. So green loot is uncommon. Blue loot is rare, and purple loot is considered epic loot. So looking at my character, you realize that he's only wearing epic and rare armor because I bought it with my main character. And I actually have my next set of armor for level 40 sitting here in my inventory for me for when I hit level 40. Which is awesome. So that's that. Tired of being the hero. My favorite dungeon of all time. Player made one at least, but it's awesome. Actually need some water. Man, for someone that just does a lot of talking to himself, my throat hurts. Gonna run back to Evan Downs and do my main quests.
I'm an honest fighter.
Yeah, that is an amazing dungeon. Like I said, it's my favorite of all time. And the more you play it, the better it gets, trying out all the different options with all the different weapons and having different companions to help you. Really gives it a unique experience. And I like the idea of being evil. If I could have been evil, I would have. There's a lot of player-made material, and from what I hear, it's very, very easy to get into. So if you played Neverwinter and felt like you wanted to enjoy the Foundry, I think you unlock it at level... Oh, I don't know. I don't have the email they send you, but you unlock it at a fairly low level, probably around level 15, that you have access to the Foundry. They want you playing for a little while so you understand how the game works before, you know, you try to go around making dungeons. But it is something that's very fun for some people. Not me, but some people. Some people enjoy that. In D&D, I actually usually play True Neutral, just so I can do whatever I want. My last character was a Changeling Druid, and my Druid, I mostly built him around shape-shifting powers, because I wanted to be a total dick. But, in general, I prefer either Neutral Evil or Lawful Evil characters over Chaotic Evil, because Chaotic Evil characters are like psychopaths, and generally do things just to be evil for the sole purpose of creating chaos, and I don't feel like that's a very realistic mindset for a character to have. I mean, very few people are like that. I prefer someone who would rather persuade you into killing your friend, which is a very, very not nice thing to do, but kind of subtly influence you and make you do things without you knowing. So I make a shapeshifter character, a changeling, so I can turn into humanoid people and totally dick people over in the creative way I enjoy. Yes, I need to kill some zombies. I was not paying attention. I feel like the true neutral mindset, which is, first of all, is very difficult to remain, because to be true neutral, you have to make good decisions as well as evil ones, and lawful as well as chaotic. Otherwise, your character experiences alignment shift and starts to move his alignment over. But it also gives you the opportunity to do what you want more, and for your character to have a broader range of emotion. So if I look at someone, I can basically say, well, I'm going to fuck this person over merely because I don't like them. As opposed to like, oh, you know, well, he could have a family at home and kids, and I'm like, no, he's fucking dead. Like, get out of my way. Or, you know, if I was in the mood to save some small child or a kitten from a tree, I could do that too. I just might do it as a swarm of insects and leave that child with years of trauma. I actually used that druid ability to get out of prison once. They locked up me and my party up in prison. We had nothing, no items, no anything, so obviously, you know, the rogue is useless without lockpicks. She can't get out. I just walked up and turned into insects and just phased through the bars. Yeah, the load screens are short because I have a solid state. And this is one of the games that I have installed on it. League of Legends is also another. Unfortunately, all those loading screens are based on everyone else as well. Another thing you'll notice about the load screens, and I'll point them out next time it happens, but occasionally in the upper left-hand corner here, you'll see patching, because what happens is, if there's a problem with your installation, instead of most games where they would just crash or you'd have some odd, unexplainable error, instead the game verifies every load, what files are on the drive, which doesn't take very long. The load screens don't take long. But if there are any issues, it rectifies them in-game. So there's an in-game patcher that constantly is running to make sure you have all the materials you need to do what you're supposed to be doing. And even sometimes in a dungeon, I'll occasionally get a little patching icon for whatever reason, fixing issues, which is nice. It's very nice. Get out of my face! Sorry, I'm not into zombies. Not my type. Too old. In all honesty, my boyfriend's 5 years older than me, so... Hey, it's Tom, it's Bob from the office down the hall. Good to see you, buddy. How have you been? Things have been okay for me. Blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna stop singing. Whatever. Do I like I'm young? No. No, like I said, my boyfriend's 5 years older than me. I actually can't stand people younger than me because they just... It's a different state of mind. Especially since anyone younger than me is probably in high school. And I'm not okay with that.
I'm an honest fighter.
My character, though, he likes him young. Touch is all about those young boys. I feel like magic zombies are a whole lot worse than like virus zombies, because virus zombies you can find an antidote. You can kill all the zombies. You can release the antidote into the air and kill all the zombie plagues. But with magic zombies, you're kind of just fucked, aren't you? Like there's no stopping the magic zombie apocalypse.
Smart fighter quits while he's ahead.
How do you kill a skeleton? I feel like it'd still move around after they were dead. Yeah, that'd be kind of gross. Little skeleton fingers following you around, rolling around the ground trying to get you. Ow. Get the fuck away. It's a magic. No destroyed emerging. It's a magic skeleton. Don't question the spooky, scary skeletons. They do what they want. Okay, I'm dying. This is bad. This is bad. Like I said, soloing can be difficult because I don't deal nearly as much damage as any of the other classes because of the way I built my character. But I'm also really, really valuable when I have someone who can deal damage, because then we just don't die. They kill everything and I stop them from dying. And stop raising more zombies. I'm not about this life. Ain't nobody got time for that. Alright. Cleric laser, away! There. Finally. Yes, go kill that.
I'm an honest fighter.
Smart fighter quits while he's ahead.
I still wonder who wrote down on paper, our clerics are gonna shoot lasers. Who thought that was a good idea? Really? Yes, faster than light. I assume is what you're talking about. I do play it, and I just really suck at it. But I do have it. Yes. Unfortunately, I'm terror bad at it. Fuck! Oh god. That's the second time I've died on stream. Okay. Oh no! Get back up, bitch. You haven't taken enough damage. Mithr's my mind slave. That's where I see my companions. You said rogue types are fun, but I have no idea what that's in reference to, so I'm just gonna leave it. Also, I guess I'm not being interesting enough because I've been sticking to 3 followers. A couple people come in, a couple people leave, and that makes me sad. Though I have to wonder how you have all this time to just sit here and watch my stream.
Smart fighter quits while he's ahead.
I usually just name the people in FTL after my friends, and when they die I get really sad. Especially if they die in ways that they would totally die in real life, by like trying to run into a fire and save the day, and then burning alive. And things like that. Oh, rogue type games are the genre of... I just consider it an indie game. I guess I've never heard of a roguelike game genre. Oh, fuck my life. No, bad Mimic. Mimic down. Bad Mimic. Mimic, stop. You can't come home with me. I'm not into ankle biters. I'm glad I can help you study. Though it could be argued by your professors or teachers that this is an effective studying habit. Of which I am uncertain.
I'm an honest fighter.
Horse! What? Why? Stop horsing around. That was an awful pun. Why do you people want to watch me again? All I do is make bad jokes.
Smart fighter quits while he's ahead.
I say. Hmm. Oh, just when we needed more spiders. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a few more viewers and they'll actually interact with you and talk to you more. Because right now it's just you and me. Up in the upper left corner, you see the patching right there, because I had to patch something for the cutscene. Also, something's not quite right here, is there? I wish I could magically get the boss stuck in that wall. That would make my life a lot easier. That was a good way of killing the endgame boss. Actually, that reminds me of a story. Back in closed beta, there was a boss in one of the epic tier dungeons that you fought her around kind of a circular area that had another circular hole in the middle with some spikes protruding out of it. And we were going through the dungeon, the 5 of us in our party. That was back when I played my rogue. And what happened was, we got to the end of the dungeon, was fighting this boss, and 3 of them, or 2 of them, left us. That being the Cleric and the Tank, the 2 most vital roles in the party. So, we tried time and time again, the 3 of us, to kill this boss in an epic dungeon, which really is not a good thing to try to do. But one of the things we did was, and I was the one that pulled this off because I was the rogue, and it's something you can only do as a rogue. See, the rogue has this unique ability where he can activate it and avoid half the damage that he's dealt for a short period of time, but if he uses his tab ability, which is stealth, he can avoid all total damage for that time. Well, because this was back in beta, we found out that you could also avoid all the damage from the kill zone at the bottom of the pit. So I had my entire team wait outside. I walked in, and this boss was very well known for teleporting. She did that. That was a thing. She teleported around the zone, and I jumped in the pit, and she teleported into the pit to kill me, and died from the kill zone damage right before I did. So to collect the loot, I actually had to pull this stunt a few more times, just to grab the loot. Like, I'd have half a second to look around really quick and grab any of the loot that exploded all over the bottom of this zone, which was not a place we were supposed to be anyways. They've since actually fixed it by filling in that hole with the most awkward looking dirt texture you've ever seen. So I can't get a boss magically stuck in a wall, but I have gotten a boss magically stuck in the ground, which is almost as good. But we actually completed the dungeon without the rest of the party, thanks to my help and our awkward as fuck boss kill. And got our dungeon delve loot, which is the whole reason we didn't want to leave the party. You'll see, like, there's a dungeon delve going on right now. What happens is, when you do one of the dungeons, you can see them here, Lair of the Mad Dragon, Throne of Idris. These are the main dungeons that are like the big ones. They take hours. At the end of the dungeon, there's a special piece of loot in a chest that your character will always be able to use, and during a dungeon delve for epic dungeons, it's always going to be an epic quality item. Depending on the dungeon and the epic dungeon you're doing, it can be anywhere from tier 1 to tier 3, but we didn't want to lose that epic loot because that's one for each of us. So we sat there for probably an hour trying to figure out a way to kill that boss, and that's how we finally did it. Was
There
through
is
that
much to be
bullshit
done. Well done.
kill, which was awesome, and I'm glad we
Though
got that dungeon loot.
Idris is attempting to use
Even though
something
it was
called the
the most
Firehelm Forge to create
wrong
an army
thing.
of undead spirits under
What was
her control.
really interesting
This
about
forge
that
seems to be
was
fueled
the
by the souls
armor
of the
for my
departed.
rogue that I got from
Idris has sent
killing her
Shadar
in that
Kai
manner
soul-servers to capture the ghosts of
actually had a
innocents
missing
buried in the
texture.
downs.
So
We must
for
stop
Glitch killing the
this evil
boss,
stench for the
I
sake of
got
those poor
a
departed
Glitch piece of
souls
armor.
and to
That was
disrupt the creation
the
of
only
more
one
dire
that I had
home
seen at the time that was Glitch. Like, other people were wearing this armor, but it was not missing the texture. So instead of, like, you'll see my character has all this really nice, like, everything, all the detail on the armor, everything was tan. Like, the most bland, gross color tan you've ever seen. Not skin tone, but the entire thing was solid, so there was no detail to it at all. And I ran around like that for a good 3 months with that glitched armor from my glitch boss kill. It was well worth it, and it certainly provides an interesting story to tell. But that's what beta's for. I should probably level up. Yes, that's right. I'm a legend. A legend that for a while had the only piece of glitch armor in the entire game. I actually deleted my max level rogue after I created my max level ranger. Because the rogue provided very little DPS in comparison to the ranger. So those are my first 2 max level characters. This guy will be my 3rd. I mean, I'm only 13 levels away, so 13? No. 23. 23 levels away. So my rogue's gone, sadly. The character that had that armor is never to be seen again. He was deleted. I deleted him to make room with character slots for my cleric. But I really do enjoy telling that story. And I wish I had been streaming back then, so like I would have a record of that. It was the most ridiculous thing ever. Could you do me a favor and just post a link to my Tumblr blog in the chat really quick for anyone who may not have come from Tumblr? Whether they found it on Twitch or whatever, because I can't do it right now. And you seem to be like a pretty rad individual. I really do like streaming. I think it'd be a lot more fun if I had more viewers, so everything would be a little more interactive and dynamic. But for the moment, I'm doing my best. I feel though that it's kind of a full circle thing. I don't have viewers because I'm not interesting and dynamic, but I can't be interesting and dynamic because I do not have the viewers. I would be doing this with or without viewers watching me. Level grinding doesn't faze me, and even though I've done all of this stuff before, it doesn't get any less boring for me. If I wasn't talking to you, I'd be talking to my guildies or something like that. Thank you. Oh, my friend's dead. That was painful. Grabbed a little bit more aggro around than I wanted. And it's not over. Go away. Streaming, though, for me is, I mean, other than being, of course, a little bit of a power trip, because I enjoy feeling popular. It's a way for me to see more people, meet more people, and for someone like you who lives nearby, which is really, really weird, but also interesting, I can make some friends, even if they're online. So that's why I don't mind having a low amount of viewers, because I feel like the ones I have are awesome. And yesterday we had big conversations going on. Yeah, I did notice that people responded to the other people. Me talking to myself for hours probably isn't all that interesting to other people, and that is unfortunate. Fortunately for me, for this game at least, I don't have any friends who play Neverwinter. I've tried to get a lot of people into it, but they don't stick with it like I do. And even then, I take month-long breaks, and then I come back and I'll level my character a little bit more. But I don't have friends who play Neverwinter, and even if they do, I'm usually at a much higher level than them, so I can't play with them, and that is unfortunate. So when I play League, I'll try to get people on Skype, and we'll do that, because people did seem to like us streaming with Justice slash Wobbler, whatever you want to call him, and that's good. In all honesty, he's not my favorite person to game with. There are people I'd much rather have streamed that I was playing with earlier tonight, but unfortunately they didn't want to be on the stream, so I had to shut it down for a little while, which is also annoying because they had streamed me in the past, but whatever, I'm not complaining. Okay, maybe I am complaining, but I'll get over it. Oh, fuck, I finished my quest, I'm out of here, sorry. Hey, I can only call the police if you find out where I live. Or any of that, so as long as, you know, you don't stalk me, we're fine. We could be interwebs friends, we'll see. I don't know why the rest of the stream like Wobblet. He's an asshole. He's a good friend of mine. He actually lives on campus with me. Not with me, but he lives on campus as well, at my university. And he's probably one of the most opinionated, high-horse people I've ever met. I play games to have fun. He plays games to be better than other people. Which is good, because he knows what he's doing a lot of the times, but oh, my inventory's full. That's interesting. Let me just pull out my personal shopkeeper. And I'm glad the stream liked him, but there are a lot more people that, if I brought on the stream, you guys would find more interesting than he was. And there's a chance that I'll stream with him again in the future, because we people that'll play League pretty much whenever I want, and doesn't mind being streamed. So you'll see him again. But there are other people that I prefer you guys to meet more so than him that aren't total asshats and don't yell at other players in game when they're not doing well. Because that's not my play style. We have different moral views on how video games should be played, I guess. More patching,
I'm an honest fighter.
which is done very, very quickly because of my solid state and my university's ridiculously fast internet connectivity. Yeah, he knows, like I said, he's very good at what he does, even though he's a total dick, but I could have answered the same questions he did, he just noticed them first. And even then, when you guys still had questions, I could provide more of an in-depth opinion, because he's the type of person I found that sometimes has issues in socially interacting with people. He's a very stiff, very opinionated individual, and that can cause issues. But he doesn't always know what people are looking for when they ask questions, so I tried to help out a little bit more. I hope I did, by the way. I hope I wasn't just reiterating stuff he already said and being an ass. Yeah, our wireless has been having issues lately, but because I have a desktop PC, it's not a problem. Thankfully. But my university has very, very good internet, and I'm happy for that. It's one of the only good things they have. Well, I'm glad that the two of us could help balance out the match, and your views on the match and the stream. Maybe we work well together then, and in that case, I'll have to have him forward more, but I don't enjoy when he starts yelling and raving about how poorly the team's doing, how we're doing, when, you know, there's sometimes nothing you can do. His analytical skills are almost unmatched. The man's a politician. He does a lot of stuff in that regard. So is very good at analyzing situations and getting the most out of that. But he's also a dick. I would have tried to do the best I could if he hadn't jumped for him first, but because he was watching the chat, same as I was, he often answered questions first. Zombie, go away. I think after I turn in this round of quests, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, going to go downstairs, grab a snack, grab some water because my throat's getting sore from talking to myself. As opposed from many other things that I would rather enjoy making it sore from. And then I'll be back, and I'll probably stream more League. I'll see if Wobblet's online. He very well might be. Like me, he doesn't have anything to do this weekend, so he probably isn't sleeping. He asked earlier if I was still going to play, but because I was in the middle of this stream, I did not answer him. No, he's not a math major. I don't actually remember what his major is off the top of my head. I don't actually think his major is anything political. It's probably something boring like accounting. Fuck this. But yeah, he's really big in politics. And I do believe that eventually he will go somewhere, even if that means that we have another dick politician. Okay, not a bad plan. Seeing as you're really my only active viewer, I might do the same thing. I can stream tomorrow, maybe a little less later on because my roommate will be back, and he might be vastly annoyed by me talking to no one. And he doesn't play a lot of the games I do, otherwise I would totally get to play League. If any of you that are watching want me to continue streaming, let me know. Otherwise, I might call it quits as well. We'll see. I could probably use the rest too. I'm getting a headache, but I don't care for my personal well-being when I have video games to play. That was painful. Oh my god, no, 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 no. I despise Super Bowl or with the core of my soul. I mean, I'm not a sports guy at all, so I probably will just sit in my room and try to pretend that doesn't exist and ignore the drunken idiots that are going to be wandering around my campus. The only good thing I have to say about football is that I get to look at men wearing spandex. But I mean, I don't need that, that's what porn's for. Ooh, oh god. Let's not have any of that. Okay, you need to cut your shit. Yeah.
Smart fighter quits while he's ahead.
Alright. After I turn these back in, it's going to be the end of the stream. So if you have any questions, ask them now before I get back, because I am getting kind of tired, and it is 3 in the morning. Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea to stop. I'll be back up tomorrow for a little while, probably mid-morning into the evening. A little less after my roommate gets back, and we'll see how many streams I can get during the week. Hopefully I'll make use of Twitch's archive and bombard them and fill them with lots of stuff. I mean, if it's free, I have to use it, right?
You have... Pelham, the time has come.
Alright.
Idris must be defeated, or all the Sword Coast could face the same fate as Ebon Downs. Fight your way into her crypt fortress. Destroy the Direhelm Forge, and slay Idris herself. May Kelemvor guide your hand.
Alright, have a good night, everyone.